So I've heard a few things today that I feel could use some clarification. A lot of people seem lost here, and I have tried to understand why or how, but I can't. The only thing that I can come up with is terrorist organizations have weaponized social media so well that everyone is falling for their BS. Now let me expand upon this. On October 7th, Hamas attacked Israel. They slaughtered over 1,200 men, women, and children who were unarmed, who had no interest in any conflict with anyone from Gaza or any Palestinian. None whatsoever. And they were attacked, and they were slaughtered in the most horrible ways you can imagine. And then they took over 200 hostages. And in the day following that attack, the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, came out and said to the leader of Hamas, "Release the hostages. No more, no less. Release the hostages," before Israel made any strike on any Hamas site in Gaza. In fact, I believe it was a week, and Hamas released 3 people. 3. Do you know why? For PR. It was strictly for PR, and a lot of people ate that right up. And then guess what they stopped doing? Releasing hostages. They were trying to use them as bargaining chips like they have in the past. They typically say, we'll release 1 hostage for 100 of our terrorist brethren to come back and fight with us, to attack Israel again. They also ask for food, gasoline, clean water, those kinds of things. And everyone right now would be going, oh, they're freedom fighters. They're doing these things for the Palestinians because Israel is evil and cut them off from everything. No, you are sorely mistaken. None of these things goes to the Palestinian people. None of it. Even right now, you're seeing, they said today, the hospitals would shut down and stop running because they're out of fuel. Well, guess what we know? Hamas has plenty of fuel to spare down in their tunnels. But are they giving it to the people of Gaza or the Palestinians? No, because they don't give a shit. So they figured out, okay, we can't use these people as bargaining chips. The slaughter was so bad, and Israel said, no, enough is enough. You are not releasing our people. We are coming after you, like the rats that you are in the tunnels that you built underneath Gaza, underneath the innocent Palestinian people. And now I hear people over here, hey, but what about all the pictures we're seeing of all of the dead and dying Palestinian children and babies and women? Here's the thing. Hamas is not only terrorizing Israel. All Hamas had to do, and still has to do as of an hour ago today, Netanyahu came out again and said, all you need to do to stop everything is release the hostages. But they aren't, and they won't, because they don't care about the Palestinian people. They don't give 2 shits about them. They are using them as human shields. And what I mean by that is they have built their infrastructure underneath hospitals, mosques, schools. If you need proof, it's on camera. You can find it. Also, how do you prove that the attack happened in Israel on the 7th? Where are the receipts? Well, luckily enough for you, you bloodthirsty, sick people, the 44-minute long footage taken from multiple people's GoPro footage, Hamas, by the way, helmets, GoPro footage, that they are using for recruiting and celebrating over has been obtained and is going to be screened in theaters across the country by Israeli people of influence. They've gotten this footage. It is horrifying. People in the news media who have seen all manner of shit couldn't watch half of it. Most left the screenings crying. The government officials across the world who saw this footage could not bear to see all of it. It is that horrifying. And yet there are people here in our country going, we need receipts. You're going to get them. If you want them, go see them. That's on you. That's your soul, not mine. But you need to understand, the innocent Palestinian people are welcoming IDF, are welcoming Israel, because they're clearing them from areas that Hamas is holding them to safer areas where the airstrikes are not taking place. They are only striking the locations that they know Hamas's leadership and weapon caches are being stored. They release text messages. Oh, they don't have internet. They drop flyers. They go over loudspeaker in Arabic over the border and say exactly what is about to happen and why the people should leave the area. And do you know why they don't? They're held at gunpoint by Hamas because they believe that if they have enough innocent civilians, women and children above the location, that it won't be hit, because for years and years that has worked. Not anymore. Not after what you see they did to the innocent people who never asked for this. Israel never wanted war with Gaza or the West Bank. In fact, in 1965, when the Palestinian Liberation Army was formed, Gaza was under the control of Egypt. The West Bank was under the control of Jordan. You have been misled, misinformed, and now a man was killed yesterday in California simply for having the strength and the bravery to stand up against an angry, crazy mob of people shouting, "Free Palestine," when they know nothing of which they are speaking. The Palestinians are being terrorized. The Israelis are being terrorized. And now, these anti-Semitic attacks, this BS that we're seeing here, that has now resulted in death and destruction, you have been trained by your social media, by your TikTok, by your Snapchat, by your other stupid bullshit. You are running people off of college campuses. Kids are having to be locked in libraries. There are people afraid to go to Shabbat and worship the way they choose to worship, even though they had nothing to do with what happened in the Middle East, and in fact were the victims of the heinous attack of October 7th on the people and the country of Israel. You can talk about occupation, you can talk about genocide, you can talk about any of the other bullshit you want. You don't know what those words mean. You can say occupier, you can say whatever the fuck you want. Quite honestly, I am done. Hamas is a terrorist organization. If you're out there screaming, "Free Palestine," and you are literally tearing down our nation's infrastructure, trying to break down the gates of the White House, assaulting people, and now killing the elderly, you, my friend, are a terrorist. You are a proxy by design. You are allowing yourself to be controlled, and you are swallowing all the propaganda that Hamas puts out, and Hezbollah, and ISIS, and Al-Qaeda, and the Muslim Brotherhood, and Iran. Eat it. Swallow it. Let it poison you, and your spirit, and your soul. But it will not poison mine, because I know right from wrong. I can see suffering, and I can see the end of the suffering, and that is the end of Hamas. That is the end of terror in Gaza. That is the end of terror in the West Bank. It is the end of terror in the United States.